How good is how, their defensive line is getting a lot of attention? How good is it?
I mean, I think they have a great defensive line. I think it's definitely going to be one of the best that we see. I think last year they were one of the best we've seen. Obviously up there with KU. Man, I mean, they got a ton of talent across the board. They've got first rounders and pretty much every defensive end on scholarship. I think their interior-wise, they're really good. A lot of experience. It's just going to be a game that we have to go out there and play with a ton of confidence.
Is it talent that makes them so tough, or is it talent mixed with technique? I mean, are they well coached?
Yeah, very much well coached. Very good at fundamentals. Obviously, if a school like Ohio State, they're going to have a ton of talent.
What kind of stage is this for you as a future NFL guy to have a chance to play that many guys at that talent level?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing against the best talent. I mean? I want to play against the best defensive end that I can, and obviously, like I said, they got a lot of talent. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited.
Are you excited beyond that? Some people say you guys are the best offensive line in the country. They've had their own coaches say that they have the best defensive line in the country. What's that like going up into a matchup like that?
Obviously, we, as far as rankings, we don't really care much about that up front. We're going to approach it even if we were the worst offensive line in the country like we were the best. And, I'm really looking forward to going out here as a group with this offense, with this offensive line, and, going out here and playing as dominant as possible.
You're looking forward to seeing how good you guys are. This seems like it'd be a pretty good barometer for this offensive line.
Yeah, it would definitely. I think it definitely will be able to, allow us to see where we are as a unit.
Is this a game you point to? Because I know you talked in preseason workouts about being more physical. You felt this team was more physical than the team you played on. Is this a game you point to where that needs to show up?
Yeah, every week though, it's all about being as physical as possible, and that's something that we've preached. This game, obviously, coming from their conference, they play against a lot of physical talent, a lot of bigger talent. It's not as much, I want to say, spread scheme. It's more, downhill football. But I mean, we're going to go out here and play as physical as possible.
You guys are so established now on the offensive line. You have that continuity. What was it like last year against Ohio State when it just was thrown in flux and there was all that shuffling going on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as shuffling, I think we got a lot of guys that have, that are very versatile, that can play a bunch of different positions. Last year I just think, we didn't play our best, and it should never be an issue, whether somebody's on the wrong side or playing a position that they've never played before. This year, I will say we have a lot of versatility.
Orlando, last year when you guys started out 1-2, I think everybody was surprised that you reeled off as many wins as you did, just because it didn't seem like there was any way to redeem yourselves starting out 1-2. Going to Ohio State and winning a game like that, could that kind of would that have a redeeming feeling for you finally after the way things started last year?
Honestly, I haven't been thinking much about last year. It's really been more about this year, and as an offensive line and as an offense, I can say that we definitely been looking forward to this year. As far as last year, I mean, there are certain things that do stick with us, but right now we're really focused on this year's record and doing what we have to do to go win every week and go undefeated if that's possible.
Like the fact, offensive linemen generally don't get a lot of attention. But this game, people are going to be watching your line against their D-line. You like that attention? Because people tend to kind of overlook the big guys.
Yeah, and, attention is, really pressure, and, pressure's a privilege. And, to be able to go out there and, have you all and, everyone in the stands paying attention to what we do, I think as a group, we take a lot of pride in that. It's a privilege, and, we want to go out here and play to the best of our abilities.
How much of a difference is the group you're going to see this Saturday compared to what you'll see the rest of the year?
Honestly, a lot of people may not, understand, but the Big 12. We've got some pretty good defensive linemen, and last year, from everyone at TCU had a guy, Houston had a guy that we had played, KU obviously, and Armstrong and Daniel Wise, and Texas has some pretty good guys. I think we're going to play a lot of really good talent this year.
Obviously, Cody Ford breaking his leg last year wasn't good in the moment. Long term, though, is something like that that made you build depth quickly. How much does that help you this year going into face Ohio State?
It helps us a lot. You know, obviously, like you said, being able to build that depth and, you know, have guys that, you know, if something bad were to happen, they could be replaced. It helps us out a lot.
You have to kind of guard against guys trying to, I don't know, do stuff to you to get the ref's attention because you kind of have that reputation.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that, you know, throughout Little League I had to deal with. You know what I mean? People trying to, you know, they know how I play with my emotions and trying to, you know, I guess get me to go over the edge. But, I mean, man, I play on the edge anyway. So, I mean, if, you know, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do.
Have you obviously you didn't have a penalty last game. How has Lincoln been approaching that with you? I know Bob was kind of always the one that had the talks with you before.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Riley has to, you know, even when Coach Stoops was here. But, you know, for me it's really just about maturity and, you know, trying to play at a high level, you know, with my emotions high without, you know, doing anything stupid.
Did you watch any football over the weekend?
I actually didn't, honestly. I watched Alabama-Florida State. Yeah.
Did you happen to catch any news about last night's game? Crazy comeback?
I think you talk A&M, UCLA. Yeah, some fake spike, right? Yeah, Chosen Rosen. That's all I know. Yeah.
Can we expect more? What can we expect you to wear Saturday with your dress after the game?
Post game, man. Just because it's an away game, I'll be in sweats. But let's see, Tulane, I'll have something for you. My mom will be here, so yeah, I'll have something for you.
Is there pressure on you once you go down that path to have to do it every time?
No, I'm fresh. I'm fresh all the time. You know what I mean? If I didn't have to wear OU stuff up here, I wouldn't. So it's all good.
There was some talk last year that Abdul said he wasn't completely healthy. Did you see a different version of him in that first game?
Yeah, I definitely did. You know, obviously, like you said, last year he wasn't healthy, and I think that kind of showed up. And I expected to show up more and more as the season goes on.
You said after the game, if you guys don't rush for 200, 250, you're never happy. So what was the feeling when you look back on that UTEP game?
You know, obviously, you know, I don't know if I haven't really looked at the stats yet, but I don't know if we, you know, got the amount of attempts that we would want or anything like that. But, you know, from a rushing standpoint, you know, I still feel the same way, you know, no matter who it is.
How does it feel to sort of, Baker said people might want to make he and JT the headline, but he said the headline is in the trenches. It's not always normal for you guys. How does it sort of feel to have that attention on both lines?
Yeah, you know, like I said, I mean, it's a privilege, you know what I mean, to have that pressure, you know, from, you know, our peers and, you know, you all and our coaches, you know, to go out here and, you know, pretty much put this game on us, you know, as it normally is. It's just normally not a lot of attention on the situation. But, I mean, we're really looking forward to it up front.
Do you like just being out and about on weeks like this with people coming up to you probably more than they usually would to say win this weekend or whatever? Yeah,
I mean, you know, honestly, I don't pay too much attention to that stuff. You know, I mean, it's something that, you know, we all deal with as players, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to me.
You've seen some freshman classes come through here. How do you feel like this freshman class measured up? They came in with some hype and their own hashtag and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel like these guys have came in maybe more advanced than some of the others?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best freshman classes I've seen. You know, obviously my year was, you know, me, Joe, Samaje, you know, Mark Andrews, and, you know, a couple other guys. But this year's freshman class, I mean, they're ahead of us. You know what I mean? They're really far ahead. Obviously, I mean, I think they got 2 or 3 guys starting right now. And a couple guys that are playing key backup roles in certain situations. But, I mean, even the guys that are redshirting, you know, from Adrian Ely to Marquise Hayes and, you know, the guys up front, you know, I think that's really, you know, you guys won't see a drop-off here, you know, as people leave.
With most of the same players back for both teams, defensive front, offensive front for you guys, they dominated you last year. What makes you feel that it can be different or will be different in Columbus?
Yeah, you know, it's just really going into here with a ton of confidence, you know, for us, understanding, you know, what we're good at and what we're bad at, and doing our best to get better this week, from last week and correcting the things from last year. I definitely think as an offensive line, we're better now than we were last year at this point. So, I mean, we'll see when we get there, but, this week is about getting better.